I want to mention a few things that we saw when we started working on the Sichos, the way the Rebbe's gang was that taught things, how to do it. So I just want to mention a few of those things. First of all, we saw sometimes that the Rebbe didn't want they should put in complicated things. He even wrote twice, I remember, he wrote, V'adu machnisim dvorim misuvochim keilu, or inyonim misuvochim keilu, why are you sending me and why are you giving in such complicated things? And the Rebbe nevertheless was magia, but he didn't want it should be complicated things. We also saw when the Rebbe crossed out, and if in the line, amongst the words that he crossed out was HaKadosh Baruch Hu or things like that, the Rebbe would not cross out that word. He crossed out the line, but those words just circled around it, behemshach to the crossing out of the rest of the words. We knew that he wanted this to cross out. Now, he wanted these things should be written clear. We saw that when it wasn't so clear, he would make it clear. You could see from the Rebbe that he wanted not to write anything unless you look it up, because the Rebbe himself, would they say from inside that the Rebbe would not write any maramokim unless he looked it up. But we saw it even from the Hagoah, that whenever he was maitik something, and obviously he didn't look it up, he'd write on the side, la'ayin bifnim. Remember once he wrote a loshon of the Radvaz, and he wrote on the side, la'ayin haloshen bifnim. In other words, looking, and actually it was exactly the loshon, the way the Rebbe wrote it. But he wanted it should be checked up. So anything before you write, you have to check up, and that's what the Rebbe did. And another thing that the Rebbe showed us is that he did not like when you write extreme expressions, like kosher ma'ed. He would cross out many times the word ma'ed. On something he would write godel ma'ed. He would cross out the word ma'ed. Eine moving klal. I'm just giving examples. He would cross out the word klal. These extreme words, which from that we understand that if there ever was an extreme word that was there, must have been really extreme. But like this, the klal was never to go into these extreme things. And just another example that a few times, and the Rebbe changed when it said tzorich lahavin, so the Rosh Hashanah is usually tzadik lamed. But the Rebbe changed a few times to tzadik lamed hey beis, because tzadik lamed could mean tzorich lahavin, tzorich liyas, tzorich lases, it could be anything. So the Rebbe, to make sure, so then that's from this, since then we started writing tzorich lahavin, tzadik lamed hey beis on our own. Another example. Once made a maramokim of Encyclopedia Talmudis. So it was written, Re'ei Aleph Tov, Rosh Hashanah is Aleph Tov. So the Rebbe circled around it and made a question mark. In other words, who will understand what Aleph Tov is? He wants it to write it out. So anytime there was something that's not clear, the Rebbe wanted it should be written out clearly, not written in Rosh Hashanah. These are some of the things that we saw by the Hagoah of the Rebbe.